Breaking! You're not going to believe what just happened to Johnny Somali. His so-called best friend Hank just became his worst nightmare, and what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see this entire situation. Stay with me because this gets absolutely insane. Now, before we dive into this bombshell, make sure you smash that subscribe button because the tea I'm about to spill is scalding hot, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me, this story has more twists than a Korean drama. Let me take you back to when this whole mess started. Everyone thought Hank was Johnny Somali's ride-or-die friend, the guy who always had his back no matter what chaos Johnny created. But sources close to the situation are now revealing that Hank has become Johnny's biggest liability, and it's about to cost Johnny everything. Here's what makes this even more devastating. We're talking about a potential 20 to 30-year prison sentence hanging over Johnny's head. And the one person who was supposed to help him navigate this legal nightmare, he's actually making it worse. Here's what we know for sure. Hank is now representing Johnny Somali as his attorney. Yes, you heard that right. Hank, the same guy who can't even keep a gym membership in South Korea, is trying to be Johnny's lawyer. The official story is that they're working together to fight these charges. But here's what they're not telling you. This decision is absolutely destroying Johnny's chances of freedom. Think about it. When someone like P. Diddy faces serious charges, what does he do? He spends millions on the best legal team money can buy. But Johnny? He's trusting his future to someone who legal mindset literally calls a non-attorney at law. I can't make this stuff up. And it gets so much worse. According to legal experts, Johnny's case has moved from bad to absolutely catastrophic. The Korean legal system doesn't mess around, and now there's a petition for severe punishment circulating. Now, you might be thinking, maybe Hank knows something we don't, but wait until you hear this bombshell. Legal Mindset just revealed that because Hank led Johnny down this path of not taking anything seriously, Johnny is now facing what's called an aggravated sentence. That means instead of getting the minimum punishment, he's looking at the maximum. We're talking 4 to 12 years minimum, and that's if he's lucky. Before I continue with this insanity, I need to know, do you think Hank is secretly sabotaging Johnny, or is he just completely clueless? Let me know in the comments because your responses to my last Johnny Somali video were absolutely wild, and I read every single one. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that nobody's talking about. Remember how Hank used to be Johnny's golden ticket out of trouble? Well, that same relationship has now made Hank a target in South Korea. The Korean people who used to tolerate Hank because he wasn't the main troublemaker, they now see him as Johnny's enabler. Think about it, doesn't it seem suspicious that right when Johnny needs real legal help, Hank suddenly decides to play lawyer? And when you add the fact that Hank's own family has cut him off financially because of his association with Johnny, suddenly everything clicks into place. Both of them are broke, desperate, and making each other's situations worse. Here's the kicker. I found footage of Johnny literally abandoning Hank when Koreans were confronting him. Johnny saw his best friend in trouble and ran. This tells us everything about their relationship. Johnny doesn't care about Hank. He only cares about himself. And that's when everything changed. Legal experts are now saying that Johnny's threats against the Korean judge and the judge's mother have sealed his fate. Can you imagine standing in front of a judge you've personally threatened? The fallout was immediate, any chance of leniency just evaporated. But here's the part that nobody's talking about. Hank's representation is actually making the judge's job easier. Instead of dealing with a competent defense that might find loopholes or technicalities, the judge is watching this circus unfold with what can only be described as professional amusement. The Korean legal system prefers clear-cut decisions, all guilty or not guilty. With Hank as his attorney, Johnny is basically gift-wrapping a guilty verdict and handing it to the prosecution. Now, I'm not saying this is definitely what's happening, but what if this is all intentional? What if Hank realizes that his association with Johnny has ruined his life in South Korea, and this is his way of getting revenge. Think about it, Hank lost his reputation, his money, his family support, and can't even go to a gym without being rejected. If this theory is true, it would explain why Hank is making such obviously bad legal decisions. He's not trying to save Johnny, he's trying to ensure Johnny goes down, and he's doing it in a way that looks like he's helping. It's the perfect crime, destroy your enemy while appearing to be their loyal friend. This could mean we're witnessing the end of the Johnny Somali era. If Johnny gets that 4 to 12 year sentence, his streaming career is over. His influence, his ability to cause chaos, his entire brand, gone. And honestly, I think we're just seeing the beginning of the consequences. But here's what really gets me. If Johnny somehow manages to escape South Korea, do you think he'll stick around to help Hank? Based on that footage of him running away when Hank was in trouble, I think we all know the answer. What makes this even more heartbreaking, or satisfying, depending on your perspective, is watching two people who built their careers on chaos and disrespect finally face real consequences. They thought they were untouchable, that their friendship would protect them from anything. Instead, that same friendship is now the weapon being used to destroy them both. The Korean justice system doesn't care about their streaming numbers or their online drama. They care about respect, consequences, and making sure people like this understand that actions have real-world implications. Summary: 1 minute. So let me break this down for you. Johnny Somali trusted his future to someone who's not even a real lawyer. Hank, whether intentionally or through incompetence, is leading Johnny straight into an aggravated sentence. The Korean legal system is about to make an example out of both of them. And when that travel ban lifts, if it lifts, Johnny will disappear faster than his subscriber count after this mess. This whole situation shows us that eventually, everyone faces consequences for their actions. You can run from accountability for a while, but you can't run forever. What do you think really happened here? Is Hank secretly sabotaging Johnny, or is this just the natural result of two chaos creators finally meeting their match? Do you think Johnny deserves the maximum sentence, or should he get some leniency? Drop your theories in the comments below because I'm genuinely curious about your take on this insanity. And don't forget to subscribe because tomorrow I'm exposing the real reason why no legitimate lawyer would touch Johnny's case. Trust me, when you hear what I discovered about his legal history, you'll understand why Hank was literally his only option. The truth is darker than you think. And if you want more updates on this legal disaster, check out this video where I predicted exactly how this would end months ago. I called it, and unfortunately, I was right.